Hello YouTube, Mad Dog here. This video is for anybody that uses snare traps, whether it be in a survival situation or hunting in general. So a little tip really. What I've got here, I'm using a bit of old garden twine just so it's easier to demonstrate this. I've got a heavier duty Fox snare set up here, some heavy gauge Bowden cable wire rope that I'll demonstrate this method with as well in a minute. So for the small snare anyway, I've got a piece of household copper water pipe, the 15mm copper pipe. Cut a piece off, flattened it out and cut off a square of that copper, about 3/4 of an inch square. I've then bent that piece of copper nearly at right angles, not quite, and drilled 2 small holes in each side, which obviously allows the snare wire material to pass through. So what I've done, I've tied off one end of my snare, which goes through one hole of the copper material, so it retains it, and then the other, obviously the other end of the working end of the material I've threaded through the other hole, and that's what creates the loop. Now with this being copper, the idea with this is once the animal is entrapped, snared, the copper, with it being soft, naturally binds, trying to pick this up in, naturally binds to the snare material, so the tighter you struggle, the more you struggle, the tighter it gets, and it doesn't come off. You have to physically rock it backwards and forwards to release the tension to allow the snare to come loose. So I'll show you on the bigger version. Now for this I've used an old copper coin. Now don't forget it is illegal to deface the Queen's currency, so use a foreign coin so you're not breaking the law. But copper coins do work good for this. So I've got basically copper coin bent the same, just folded nearly in half, 2 holes drilled either side, and the same setup but a more heavy duty version. So I've got a crimped end of my wire rope that goes through that copper coin, the working end of the snare going through the other side creating the loop, with the bends always pointing inwards. That's the choker. So your creature, your animal gets snared, trapped, and as you can see that's all locked together. I mean that's got my wrist real good now, that's not coming off at all. The more I pull, the tighter it gets, so I actually have to physically, just picking up, grab hold of that and rock it off to allow it to come slack again. The holes need to be big enough in the copper piece for whatever material you're using as your snare to run freely, but not that big. Obviously when the choker is under load it doesn't come off straight away. You need that just a little bit of clearance to allow this mechanism to work properly. So anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. This is like a great big heavy duty snare for foxes and bigger game. So the tied off loop at the other end. Anyway, I digress. It's worth trying. Bit of copper, simple little choker, very effective. Just a bit more robust than the conventional loop that you put onto a standard snare, and it's got that extra security that the tighter the animal, the more the animal struggles, the tighter the choker is. But it's relatively easy for you to come and dispatch the animal and release the snare quite simply. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. It's coming up to Christmas, so I guess all your kids out there are all excited for Santa coming. Let's see what happens. Okay, take care. See you soon. Mad Dog signing off.